What's happening, man? Check it out. It's not about effing with me. You're about to buck with me. I'm your host, Buckwheat, and today, listen, man, I've been wanting to do this for a long, long time since I started doing this situation. And so I have Stu over here.
Before we started this, you said you weren't gonna lie, but now you're already lying.
I'm lying already. This is nothing but the truth right now.
All right.
Because we got a lot of things that we got to talk about.
Keep gassing me up.
I'm gonna gas you up. First of all, I knew a lot of things about you. You have the music director position, assistant program director, promotion assistant, and you're still doing voiceovers, right?
Yeah.
Now, what stations are you doing commercial voiceovers?
No, it's pretty much I have different clients. I primarily do a lot of concert events. And
Okay.
I got a few clients in Atlanta, pretty much at home where I'm at in Charlotte. So wake up in the morning, eat my Cheerios, in my drawers, get on my laptop, and boom.
There it is.
Man. Yeah.
I mean, you did a lot of that stuff here in Tampa anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Was that something that you wanted to do when you got into radio, voiceover, or that just kind of came with it down the road?
Kind of came with it.
Right.
With it. I mean, you know, yourself in radio, you always have what we have to do, our production before, after we go on, pretty much a rip and read, grab the script and just read it. Then I fell in love with my man, Rick Party. He has a lot of voiceover. He does like stuff for ESPN. He's sort of kind of like my mentor. So it's like, hey man, get into it. You never know what's going to happen in this business.
Right.
So when I was still here at 95.7 The Beat, I started doing a lot of stuff and still doing it, man.
Let me ask you something. And I know you get this just like I get this. Everybody like, you have that voice for radio.
Yeah.
Do we really have the voice for radio? It just comes with it because we're on the radio.
And I tell people it's like, what you hear, your own voice is not what it actually sounds like to everybody else because it's coming from behind you. But when you put it on tape and I listen to myself, I'm like, man, I can't listen to this crap. And I turn it down because I don't like it. Because when I first started in radio in Charlotte, before I got into radio, it was a guy named Skip Murphy. He used to work Power 98.
Yep.
It's the greatest of all. You know him.
Yes,
I
do.
For Tom Joyner.
Yep.
And I wanted to be like Skip Murphy.
Same here.
So I thought everybody had what they call a radio voice, which was like, hey, it's Stu R. Good morning. It's 95.5. Wake up. 6:38, 22 before 7. That's what I think a radio voice is.
Yes.
So that's when I I have a radio voice. A radio voice is, hey, big guy, wake up in the morning. But he was like, nah, that's not what it is. It's about your personality. Where your success, your personality.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what it is, man. It's not about that voice. Because some people in radio has voices. I'm like, man, I can't listen to this crap.
Okay, so with that being said, what you said that I used to think what radio voice was, and then when you just did it, I was on strip club.
Yeah.
Off the rip.
Exactly.
But then when I got into radio, I started to learn, and even Orlando even put me on game with this situation. He was like, yo, just be yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
You don't need to do all of this theatrical stuff with your voice. Just have a conversation like we're having a conversation right now.
Yeah.
And that's what people fall in love with.
So I started at 102 Jams in Greensboro. I was at Winston-Salem State and I was part-time. So we used to have these big car washes and, putting bumper stickers on the car and all this crazy stuff. And I was out there just, wilding out, no pun intended. And my PD was like, yo, that's what I want you to be on the air. This is Stu. It's not that 102 Jams, Greensboro. I'm like, no. So he kind of Brian Douglas, man, shout out to him, man. He's the greatest program director of all time. And I say that. So, yeah, that's what I had to learn, just being yourself, your personality. Even back before that, Miss Howell, my 9th grade teacher, we had to do different types of speeches in class. And she said, you have the voice that demands attention. Use it wisely. And I always carry that with me. I never knew what she meant at that time. But so your voice demands attention of the room. Use it wisely. So that was one of the reasons I really got in radio, you know what I mean? Because I knew I wasn't going to go to the NBA because I'm only 5'8". So I already knew that I was going to get into radio,
That's crazy. I remember my best friend back in East Texas. We went to go see his dad at work. It was me, a white boy, and an Indian. I feel like that's a joke right there. But honestly, we went to the radio, and I remember looking at the board, and I'm like, this would be dope to do this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, to see myself saying that as a kid. I think I was maybe 8, maybe 7 or 8. And to actually do radio, just I think about that sometimes. I'm like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Yeah.
We literally spoke into existence. So how many radio stations have you been to?
Woo! A lot. Probably about 8, I would think.
Yeah.
I can't really recall. Like, started a college radio station, worked with Muta Evans, first black female owner, even really before Kathy Hughes. In North Carolina, she wasn't, that big. Did that. 102 Jams, moved to Macon, Georgia, from Macon to Augusta, back to Charlotte, Augusta, back to Charlotte, then here, then back to Charlotte. So yeah, 8, 9, something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Was it worth traveling to all those stations?
Yeah.
Okay.
It really was. I mean, Augusta, small city, home of James Brown, was like my favorite to ever work at. Because people always get caught in big markets. Tampa's the biggest. Well, Charlotte is, it all depends how you look at it. Charlotte and Tampa is the biggest markets that I work at. I mean, I can say it now. I flew out to Detroit when I was in Tampa to audition for a job. They offered it to me. Money really wasn't there, but I was like, do I want to go to the beach or do I want to be stuck in a snowstorm? So I turned that down. When I lost the job here in Tampa in 2017, I had an offer to go to Cleveland. I had an offer to Denver, and I turned both of those down.
You turned down 2 jobs because of the weather.
Yep. Lifestyle.
Hey, don't they get cold in North Carolina?
Not like that, bro. You talking about Denver, all that 3 feet of snow, you still got to go to work? Nah. Nope.
What's one of the best moments in radio at any of those stations?
Whew. I would say my father-daughter dance. I mean, started that. I think I got up to number 10. And even to this day, just on Facebook, the dads posting their daughters, they like, my daughter's 27 now, believe it or not, 27. And just to see how some of these girls have, transitioned to grown women and their success. And what really made me proud of it is the moms were more proud of the moment. I would get emails and calls like, yeah, it gave me a chance to get my daughter's hair done and, go shopping and spend that quality time with the dads. Because some moms used to get upset. Why I can't come? Father, daughter.
Come on now.
Father, daughter.
Come on, man.
So yeah, I think that was like, my favorite thing that I ever done in radio.
I'm going to say this and then we're going to come back to this. It's crazy how women, and I'm saying it just like women, always got to debate the whole father-daughter. Like, let us just have our moment with our daughter and be done with it.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even have to be a debate. What are the ideas? I was going to talk about this later on, but we're here now. What made you come up with the father-daughter dance? Because I got to say this. When your situation came about and it wasn't happening, I felt there was a void in Tampa. And I wanted to fill those shoes so bad, bro. But I was like, I'm not Stu. And if I were to even attempt to do it, I would have to have your blessings, because it's like, that was something huge in the city. I mean, people still talk about it, and nobody, in my personal opinion, has not been able to fill those shoes to do the father-daughter dance the way that you was doing it.
I mean, I'm not the creator of the father-daughter doing, period. Let's just clear that up.
Okay.
But the love that my dad had for my sister, and just to watch that bond, my dad recently passed away, this past December. And even before he got sick, I was like, Dad, who's your favorite child? I stop playing. You know your sister. And that's the bond that I always wanted to have with my daughter. So I just like, hey, let me try this. And to be honest, the station really wasn't behind me. I did everything myself.
Yep.
I got my sponsorships, Pep and Hospitality, love my idea so much. So I can say this now. I was paying, no rent for it. They gave me for it for free, because they love this idea so much. So I didn't really think it was going to take off like that. But we sold out every year, like 350 fathers and daughters, and everybody's like, hey, let's get a bigger venue. But I always wanted to keep it intimate. I didn't want to be 1,000, people, because I made it my purpose. I went out and spoke to every dad and daughter about the event. So yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah,
and you sold it out.
Oh yeah.
God dang it.
It was really big.
We might need to bring that back.
We should do a reunion, man.
No, we should. Let's
make it happen.
I'm about that.
Right?
Listen, we're looking for sponsors as we speak right now, so go ahead and tap in.
Yeah. Bam.
No, I think that's a dope situation, and I think that is something that we can definitely bring back. I mean, this is April, so maybe could you make something like this happen?
Nah, not this
I'm about to say, because you got
definitely
to
a year.
do a lot of work and stuff.
Oh yeah.
What's one of the lowest moments in radio besides getting let go?
Whew. I don't know, man. That's probably that situation. Because everybody, if you've been in this business long enough, you're going to be let go.
Of course.
For any reason, whether it's budget, whether it's, new ownership, new program director, there's always going to be situations like that. But I know you said not to say that, but I have to say just because that day, boom, I had my little oatmeal, eat the oatmeal, the OM say, hey, Stu, let me holler at you.
No, you talking about when you was at the beat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go ahead and sit down. So I open the door. The, not the OM, who's a GM, he's in there, and HR's in there. I was like, oh, hell. So in my mind, like, damn, what did I do? What did I say this time? He's like, yeah, well, we're going to go in different directions. I'm like, yeah, cool. Pay your contract severance. I'm good. But as soon as I got in my truck, get ready to get on the crosstown, my mom calls me and says my grandmother just passed, all within 10 minutes of it. And my grandmother, if you ever listen to the radio, I used to put on the radio all the time. Hey, baby, how you doing? So, yeah, that was really, really the low point. Right. It not really was the fact that I was let go. It was the fact right after that, my mom passed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like really the second time in my life I ever heard my mom cry. And people are like, what is Hannah's baby boy? My mom is named Hanna, and I'm the baby boy. I'm a mama's boy. I will always be a mama's boy. But yeah, I think that no other lows in radio.
Right.
I can really think of. Because radio owes me nothing. If I never get in the studio radio owes me nothing. The good definitely outweighs the bad. I grew up in Sunset Park. I did the father-daughter dance. I threw out a pitch at a Major League Baseball game. I swam with dolphins. I met some incredible people, great bonds. Just last night, you and I and the boys laughing, having a good time. So radio owes me nothing. I have no, hardships towards radio whatsoever. It's just at a time that everything is changing. The money's really not there. Everything is all about syndication and, all this stuff. So it is what it is, man. It owes me nothing. So I can't really say that I had any low points,
Who was the asshole? Because I know the breakfast. Oh, we're going to get to that. It's crazy that when I worked at Wild and then you guys came on with the beat, like we was talking so much trash about y'all at the station.
Yeah.
So much. And I know that go the same for you guys over there too. But some of the trash talk that was going on was just like BS stuff, nothing like really serious. You may have had a couple people who thought, I'm a better jock than that person over there. I'm like, bro, at the end of the day, I'm just here trying to help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much a radio war like it was with FLZ.
Yeah.
That was a war.
Yeah, I heard before I got here.
Oh, bro, we had.
But it really wasn't like that with me, just because I looked at our demos kind of
differently. Yeah.
You guys were more white, Hispanic that loved hip hop. We were more so looking for the 35 and over black female that loves R&B and hip hop, because we had Keith Sweat and Steve Harvey. So I never looked like that. I mean, I used to listen to your show and Allie and, and Orlando and all that. I'm just a radio junkie. So I never really even, looked at it. Like, I've been involved in some nasty stuff. I was in Greensboro, 2 different radio stations showing up at the club and everybody been drinking and all this. It kind of got heated. But other than that, here, man, it was all love. I used to love y'all. Boom, turn our station off and boom, I'm listening to y'all because I know what's going to happen next at our station. So I wanted something different. So I have to bang the hell out of y'all.
And do you think the beat came in too early with the music that they was playing? Because I've heard that conversations like Tampa wasn't ready for that urban radio. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because now we have more R&B getting played on radio. Even though we had to get played in the 90s, early 2000s, but you can tell that hip-hop, a.k.a. rap, was taking over the R&B. Mm-hmm. So just like you didn't have those strong R&B artists.
Yeah, because my thing is, and it's still debatable, myself and DJ Eakin talks about this all the time, the beat was kind of like a hybrid at one point. It's like, okay, we want the R&B, but we want the hip-hop. I mean, I positioned many men like, yo, let's let that go. You know, TMP.
Yes.
Which the AM station, they were all R&B. And I was like, yo, this is what, you know, Tampa needs. Now they have the new radio station, The Vibe, that's kicking butt.
Come on now.
And I have an email, Mike Olivero, who's a promotion director over there, that I sent to him like 8 years ago about the same thing they're doing now. I was like, it's there, you know, because you have to look at it. It's hard to believe like music in 2000 is considered old school now. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait a minute, 2000? So yeah, that's crazy.
No, it is.
You know, the people that you were partying with at Club Sky in 2000, they're 30s and 40s, hell, some of them are even 50. So, you know what I mean? It was that void there, and I think they're doing a pretty good job at it.
No, they're killing it right now. I can say the R&B artists, throwback artists are probably making more money or decent money or getting more booked than some of the hip-hop artists right now. Yeah. Not like the big ones like SZA and Cardi B and all those guys, but like you're seeing Jagged Edge doing the tour. They just dropped the album. You got New Edition that stands steady. Sunshine Anderson was just here recently, and she's been in the city already twice, maybe 3 times within a year. Yeah. So it's crazy. Who's your favorite throwback artist? Let me rephrase that. What is your favorite R&B artist from the 90s, early 2000s?
You consider Prince R&B? Well, let's say R&B. It has to be New Edition.
To answer that question, I'm going to say no.
So New Edition, hands down.
Yeah?
Without a doubt. That's hits upon hits upon hits with, you know, of course, the Bobby Browns, the BBD, Ralph and Johnny. And to watch them, you know, it's, New Edition.
To be honest with you,
you want to say R. Kelly? Can I say R. Kelly?
I'm going to say R. Kelly. Okay. I like R. Kelly.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? Okay, before you answer the question, we all grew up listening to R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, we didn't know what was going on. Yeah. I was back in Texas just bumping it just like any other music today. Mm-hmm. Now that we're older now, and everybody want to reflect like, oh, so that's what he was talking about. We don't know what R. Kelly was talking about.
I'm 53, right? I'm just going to put it out there. I've been lying for a long time. I know y'all, you know, I got a face of a 52-year-old. You never thought about that. But Rick James had a song called 17. She was only 17, but she was sexy. Come on now. Mm-hmm. And it was played on the radio like crazy. Now, I'm not saying that it was right. You know, unfortunately, I did see an R. Kelly video where he was doing something with a girl. Right. Completely wrong. But you can't take his music away from him. He's a musical genius. You know, when they was having that verses, nobody could beat him in the verses.
Nah.
Nobody. Mm. Nobody.
I ain't gonna say a lot of you guys. I was listening or watching YouTube coming out the closet. Mm. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I was just bumping it. It was just like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. I'm like, what he did on his personal life is what he did on his personal life. But I'm sorry, I grew up on that man's music, and I've done some damage to that man's music.
When he gets out,
if he gets out,
he's gonna get out. I mean, it's gonna happen. He's gonna go on the road. He's gonna sell out. It's gonna be crazy. I guarantee you.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you say that with confidence. Do you know when he's gonna get out, Mr. Stu?
I say within the next 5 years.
Oh.
If not sooner.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
If y'all ever want to go back to YouTube and get that, we got you right there. With the Breakfast Club having the issues that they had recently with the 2 ladies, has that ever happened to you at any other stations? Conflict with another jock?
Yeah. I was a part-timer and filling in for a full-timer. And he's like, nah. I found out later he didn't want me to do his show when he was gone. Just because he felt kind of threatened that I was taking his position. Mm. Yeah. I was trying to be honest. Because I was, you know, part-time doing overnights. This was when radio had full-timers, period. From morning to weekends, you know, overnight. You know, that's kind of like unheard of. And that's what I was doing at the time. And I'd go to the club and get lit and be on the air at 2 o'clock on a Saturday morning. then, when the full-timers would go on vacation, I was like first in line to fill in for any one of them. And man, I put it all in, bro. I was going hard. Man, you don't have to do all these specialty bits, just play the music. Nope. I'm showing the hell out. And it worked for me because I wasn't even full-time and sent out air checks, demo tapes, cassettes back then we had to send out or whatever. And that's when I got my first opportunity in Macon, Georgia. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
With a full-time job, man.
Yep.
He must have been that bad. Or he was getting outdated.
Nah, I'm saying I was still part-time in Greensboro.
Right.
I never got it full-time, but what I was doing as a part-timer, I got a full-time gig in Macon.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was never full-time in Greensboro like I wanted to be, but when that opportunity presents itself, I went out. I was going.
You had to.
Yeah.
You had to. I think for me, when I got on the radio, you got getting to the club for free. You got the perks of going to concerts.
Yeah.
Getting free merch.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those three situations, and maybe free trips and going to theme parks, how would you put that on your list from 1 through 4? Like, would it be the merch or meeting the artists?
I couldn't. Meeting the artists was never really a thing for me.
Really?
Yeah. Because most of them, 98% of them was so laid back and cool, just like us.
Right.
And when you say regrets, okay, let me go back. The only regret I have is not creating like a picture catalog or like an autograph book of those memories of all the artists. Because I, on Facebook, a picture of Chris Brown and I popped up when I literally, he first started. Like, literally.
Oh, he was a kid.
Yeah. So that's the only kind of like regret that I don't have all those, when they used to have the glosses that they bring with them and all that stuff. That's the only regret that I think about it that I have. But the perks were, I would say, the concerts and getting hooked up with stuff. Like I was the first VIP ambassador for Busch Gardens, where they gave me this card and I can get 6 people in with me.
I know about it.
Yeah, I was the first one.
You were the first one?
Yeah. So Busch Gardens, Adventure Island, and SeaWorld, and whatever it was. So yeah, just perks like that, and different restaurants coming in and feeding you all the time. And I had an endorsement with a beer company and a liquor company, and so yeah, I would definitely say the little perks. Because sometimes you'd be like, I ain't worried about my salary pay. I got all this stuff with the different endorsements from the phone companies, like I said, the liquors and join clubs and what we call remotes, go to a car dealership for 2 hours for like $500. Like, okay, come on out to Stu Nissan. So yeah, definitely the perks of it.
So I know you went to school to get into broadcasting or just communication. Would you do that now? Would you advise any kid to do that now?
Nah, not in this world. I mean, it's bigger now with media, with the podcast situation. But communication itself, it's pretty much hands-on and learning it. Because my minor was sports management, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go back, and do that. And the reason I chose Winston-Salem State, football and basketball scholarship, but they had a radio station there, and this guy, the chancellor, Dr. Odine, I went down there to visit the first week of the radio station. I'm just walking by, and he's like, hey, Joseph, you hear his voice? Joseph, I want him on radio, Joseph. And he was like, okay, Dr. Odine, I was talking. He's going to be doing the mornings, and started doing mornings, and I still had that strip club voice. WSNC 90.5. This is Stu R. It's 9:38, 22 minutes before 10 o'clock. Remember, the big football game is this Saturday. He's like, come on, bro. Cut all that out. Your head gonna pop. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear Stu. We want to hear the Stu that you're in the hallway, cracking jokes. So, yeah, but I would say definitely hands-on. Anybody want to get in communications as far as TV, podcasting, or, this day and age, content creators and, all this stuff, just to get with somebody and just shadow that person, be a sponge, learn as much as you can.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Got you. Just to give you guys a heads up real quick, Stu's favorite song right now is called Boots on the Ground. He's going to learn to do that line dancer very soon. You gonna be doing the fan too? All that?
way I raised with no fan popping allowed. I mean, it's just not my type of music, but I will say this. It's getting people out and dancing. Right. I mean, people have line dance classes for exercises and people going out and do it, but it's just not my thing. It's just that whole fan popping. What really is, nobody's on time all the time when they're supposed to pop. It's like pop, 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 pop. It sounds like damn fireworks. Then you add on the whistle and you're not blowing, somebody blowing out of turn and they girls turn around and get mad and nah. Then you gotta wear cowboy boots. You know, I don't know like nothing about no damn cow.
Don't you start. No, don't you start. Don't start. Wait for the go to that just yet.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just not my type of music. I'm just old school hip hop and R&B head. You know, I can listen to a little Glorilla.
Do you really?
It's Friday. It's 9 p.m. Something like that. But yeah.
Hold up, bro. You're from the country like I'm from the country.
Yeah.
Y'all do trail rides in North Carolina also, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not.
So you never been to a trail ride?
No, man.
Oh, so you ain't really country then. You like North Carolina city.
I know to churn ice cream. I can snap peas. I can shuck corn.
Have you ever picked peas before?
What? Man, me and my grandmama? Come on.
Okay, I double check real quick, bro.
Yeah, come on.
You know, getting up when the sun is coming up out there in the field.
You got to do your chores before.
Come on, bro. I thought mama thought we was slaves for real when we was kids.
Come on now. But I wouldn't trade that experience for nothing in the world. If I could go back to those days, going to grandmama's house before a suitcase, remember those brown grocery bags, putting your clothes in a grocery bag and going to grandma's house? What? Y'all boys get up. Go snap them peas and shuck that corn. Oh, and I was a little runt, you know, with all my cousins and going out in cornfield bugs and stuff popping on you. And you pull the coin back, got that little black bug, you got to get all that stuff off. But yeah, man, ready to
show your age right now, bro.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing to be where you at. Yeah. And we go tap in with that. Is there any artists that you listen to right now? Or you just one of those type of people like nah, I'm just going to stick with the 90s and early 2000s?
Yeah. Ain't nobody really out like that.
Really?
Nah.
So
I couldn't name any like new artists or new music.
Leon Thomas, Mutt.
I don't know who that is.
So do you listen to radio?
Not really.
So what do you normally
Apple
listen to?
Music. Make my own playlist. Oh man, I got a killer playlist, man. What? I got a Biggie playlist. I got a Florida playlist. I got Tom G on there. City boy with it. City boy with it. City boy with it. Yeah. I'm stuck in my ways. Because it's too much, it sounds alike to me.
Right.
You know, it's just, I don't know. And I love, live music concerts. And you look on TikTok or any social media, and you look at these new artists, they're always rapping over their lyrics. And it's just nothing. They have no stage presence. Majority of them don't. So, nah.
What was your favorite club here in Tampa when you was doing clubs?
Whew. I would say Club Mirage. Oh, yeah. See, y'all were E-boy. Y'all were like wilding out. Y'all got to be picked up and carried. They riding the horse of the E-boy to get y'all to leave and all that. But I'll never forget when I first moved to Tampa. And I've been to Florida as a kid, to Orlando, Disney World, but I've never been in Tampa in my life. I knew nothing about Tampa but the Bucks. So I fly on Easter weekend, and Eakin or Chase takes me to Club 112, downtown Tampa.
Uh-huh.
And that's the first time in my life I saw girls with gold fronts.
Wow.
I was like, yo, I thought this was just on video. It was crazy. Then what they call the Zoes, and do it like the long dread.
Yes.
Then you get in the club and the dudes just dancing in circles and doing the Tampa dances.
Yeah.
So I'm standing there. I was like, nah, this ain't it. So the next day I called my mom. I was like, Ma, I'm turning this down. She's like, why? I said, Ma, these girls got gold teeth in their mouth. And I said, Ma, I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'm looking at the club. I'm like, Ma, I wouldn't take none of these chicks home. But the next night, we went to Blue Martini.
Whew, come on, dog.
I said, okay, I stay here now. I'm good.
So that would change your mind?
Because at home, we had black, white, and Mexican. I get the Blue Martini, I see black, white, Mexican, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban. Whew. So, Ekin used to call me the international sellout.
That fool always talking shit.
I know. That's my dude.
Between both of y'all always talking smack.
That's my guy, man.
That's the homie right there. I know it's crazy you say that because even coming from Texas, that's how I looked at it when I moved down here. It's either black, white, or Mexican.
Yeah.
And then you move here to Florida, you be like, who's that? You didn't know they was Puerto Rican, Cuban, Costa Rican, Dominican. Yeah. Like you just did not know. And I'm just like, yep, I fell in love, but damn.
I learned the hard way. Do not call a Dominican or Mexican.
My bad. Did you get slapped?
No, almost.
I did.
I don't know what she was saying, but I know the curse word was the comio and adis míos and a little bit of all that stuff was in there. That never happened again. That never. I'm like, man, you don't want me calling you Haitian, do you? Well, okay then. Anyway, but yeah, I love Tampa. Tampa's my second home, man. I love it.
You always come back, bro. We always appreciate that. You said you played ball in high school, right?
Yeah.
What position?
Basketball. Come on, I was a center. Point guard. Football, because I played soccer. I actually kicked.
Hold up. You said soccer?
Yeah.
You can actually run?
I was nice. Dude, I used to run a 4.340 in high school.
Okay.
I ask anybody.
I know, I believe you.
I just looked like this, bro.
Okay.
I was nice.
Were you a starter?
Of course. How can I not be a starter if I had scholarships to offer football, basketball, and soccer?
Well, goddamn stuff.
And I went to Winston-Salem State because one of my guys, Big John, called him Ice, and took me out, and we went to a party, had a good time, and I'll leave it at that. I was like, I'm going here. That was it.
At least you saw it.
Thinking with the wrong head.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least you saw it and you let me go the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jump into the LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe conversation. I'm going to flip it on you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had to fill in 5 positions to make a team from any era, who would you pick? From your point guard, your shooter, your forwards, your center?
Point guard, Magic Johnson. Shooting guard, Michael Jordan. Center, Shaq. Power forward,
any era. Today's?
LeBron. I want to listen. My 3-man?
Yeah.
I would go Kobe.
Okay.
You can't beat that team. You can't put another starting 5 to beat that team.
Who's your center again?
Magic Johnson at the 1.
Yeah, Magic.
Jordan at the 2.
Shaq
at the center.
Okay.
LeBron at the power forward. And Kobe at the 3.
Damn. All right.
There's nobody left. Nobody. You don't know basketball anyway. Next question.
Listen, I know plenty of basketball. Hold on. Who's your favorite team again?
I never had a favorite team. I always had favorite players. Gary Payton is my favorite player of all time because he talked shit and backed it up.
Allen Iverson talked shit.
Yeah.
And definitely backed it up.
Yeah, he did. But I like Gary Payton. I love AI too. He lives in Charlotte. I run across him all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's dope. I know I'm going to say Magic Johnson's my favorite.
Yeah.
Because when I was playing basketball, and I was a starter too, point guard, couldn't shoot for shit, but hey, I don't know why.
You're just going to get in front of all these cameras and lie to these people.
Why would I
lie? I never, ever.
Why would I lie?
I've never seen you at the YMCA. Not one Y. I've never seen you at any men's league in Tampa, ever. I've never seen you at any charity games, ever. I've never associated you with basketball.
I'm going to tell you why. Because I was chasing hoes. That's why. And I have been part of charity games.
If you're a baller, you're a baller.
Yeah.
Hold
up. Before you even go there, there's one thing to ball in high school, and then when you get back, when you leave high school and college, I don't do all that stuff no more. I play for fun here and there, but other than that,
I've never seen you in a gym.
Still, I will probably beat you on a one-on-one game right now.
Will. I tore both my Achilles tendon. Not one, but both my Achilles tendon. I've never played basketball again in my life.
When did this happen?
I tore the first one here, I think it was 2010, and I tore this one the beginning of the pandemic when the world shut down.
What, you tore that playing at the YMCA?
Yep, exactly. trying to get a little
that's why I
cardio
didn't
in.
play at the YMCA.
I was like, I ain't playing no defense, and I didn't. So the guy threw me the ball in this one. I just took off the run, and you can hear it pop, like both of them. They're like, boom. And that's the worst pain ever. And the last time I took it off, I took my shoes off. I said, anybody wear a size 10? Brand new Kobe's. I'm like, I do. I was like, here, they're yours.
Just like that.
Oh, nah, bro, I'm done. Never, ever, 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 ever.
Listen, why you always talking smack about my Cowboys?
Because they suck.
No, they do not.
Why not?
Because they don't.
When you still have your VCR? You got a VCR?
No.
Okay, so you can't watch the Cowboys' last Super Bowl.
Oh, we're going to go there.
It's the truth.
We're going to go there with it.
Y'all haven't won since 90. Like, how the hell y'all America's team? Y'all haven't won a Super Bowl since 1997. That is crazy, bro.
I am so happy
But every
you said
year,
that.
this is our year.
I'm glad you said that too. You have never seen me on Facebook saying America's team. You'll never see me say this is our year. The only time I got close to saying that when Dak was throwing the football and we was like going into the playoffs, I'm like, we got this.
But you're a Cowboys fan, so it doesn't matter.
So I'm just clumped in with the rest of the BS Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
You know, there's like
because
real Cowboy fans and there's others just like delirious.
All jokes aside, let's stop the jokes right now.
Because you got to answer this question.
Dead ass. So, you're a grown man, right? You have a daughter. That's why I think go off to school, right?
Right.
So, at some point, you got to realize in life that something is not working. If you're with a girl for so long and it's not working out, eventually you're going to break up or get a divorce. So why would you stay with a situation like this that ain't been shit since 1997? That lets you down every year. Y'all win 4 or 5 games. Oh, we got this. Mm-hmm. Then it always happens at the end of the year. Man, I hate Jerry Jones. Mm-hmm. So let it go. Mm-hmm. It's all about winning in life, right? It's all about progressing. So why would you stay with something like that? I'm a Steeler fan.
Hello, I thought you was a Panther fan.
Here you go.
I'm just saying, because, bro, you've always posted about the Panthers, and you do post about the Steelers.
That's home.
Say it again.
I support the home team.
Okay, once again, I'm from Texas, so I support the home team.
You're right. There's nothing wrong with that.
They win or lose, right?
Yeah.
So, Steelers not your home team, correct?
I'm 53. The Panthers weren't around when the Steelers were created, bro. The Panthers didn't come around to 89. I've been a Steeler fan. That's all I ever been. So I'm not just going to switch out. Mm-hmm. Like when I lived here, I supported the Bucks unless they were playing the Steelers or Carolina.
And I give you that. I'm the same way. Yeah. That's not even debatable.
But like I said, you're a grown man. Let that shit go.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
That's just.
I just love it that like even during off season you're still posting. I'm just like here just.
Because I'll be touching y'all.
I know what you're doing. And you do be touching some people.
I know dudes actually want to fight. Big Mo. If you want to fight, look, Big Mo, I got everything screenshotted. I don't fight no more. I'm calling police. I'm pressing charges. I'm telling you now, I'm not fighting nobody no more. So Big Mo is going to be the first one, and y'all going to leave me alone.
Oh, my God.
It's all good, man.
No, we had to go to this because I know when you make your post, I see it, and I choke, and I'm like, he's trying to strike a nerve.
I do.
You have a couple times, not going to lie. And I'm like, this.
See?
But if y'all were winning, I know you. But that's the thing is, we could be winning, and you still talking trash.
Right.
But that's what it's all about.
I would rather see my Steelers lose every game than y'all win one.
I know.
That's how bad the hatred is. All in my soul. I am the president of the Haters Club.
Hey, and I co-sign that as a Cowboys fan.
People are like, oh, you're a hater.
You said it.
Yeah, that's a compliment. Like, I am.
No, you said it. That's why when we whooped y'all, I was like, we got that one game. Even though we play y'all like every 2 to 3 years, whatever it may be.
Y'all beat us.
Yeah.
That was your Super Bowl regular season.
But y'all ain't go no Super Bowl neither, so like, why are we talking?
Okay. But I can pull up on my phone and look at my Super Bowl when we won. Last one in Tampa. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Here, we won the Super Bowl.
You know, the only thing that you have up on us as a Steeler fan is that
6 Super Bowls.
That's the only thing.
And we haven't had a losing season in like 12 or 15 years. That's another thing.
But no Super Bowl.
That changes the subject.
Hey, I'm gonna stay very faithful to my Cowboys. Well, let's knock something out real quick, bro. You know I love you. A lot of listeners here in the Tampa Bay area, we love you to death.
True that. Appreciate that.
And I know this is gonna be a touchy situation for you, real quick. But your health situation.
Whew. I thought I was gonna talk about my baby mama. No,
because I have my own health thing going on myself with my heart, but your situation was wow.
Woo.
Like wow.
Yeah.
So how did that even come about? Was you just at home and you wasn't feeling good, or you was at work? Like, what happened?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Okay.
Nah, just kidding. Not talk about it. Because I said once I got out of my situation, any platform, I'm going to spread the message.
Right.
December of 2021, actually, when it all happened, the girl I was dating at the time, I started getting lightheaded. And one day she said, I was like, boom, just passed out on the couch. I'm like, yeah, you tripping, whatever. Then all this pain started, coming over my body out of nowhere. Went to the doctor, stayed in the hospital like 2 days, or your potassium, go home and drink Gatorade. I'm like, yeah, okay. And the thing just progressively got worse. And I was over in my mom's house Christmas of 2025, and she went off to, the family gathering for Christmas, what have you. And she came home and I'm laying on the floor, faintly saying, help, 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 help. So she calls 911 December 25th that evening, and I went to the hospital, of course, stayed there. They're trying to figure out, what's going on. And I tell people, just feel like, say if you take your hands and it's cold outside and you just smash it on concrete and drag it. That's the type of pain I was feeling in my hands and my feet out of nowhere. Now, mind you, I just went to the doctor for my health checkup that November, because I'm a black man that I do go to the doctors. I want to know. The only thing he said, hey, Mr. Robinson, your cholesterol is high. I'm like, well, shit, I can eat some Cheerios to lower my cholesterol. So, yeah, that was the only thing. Blood pressure, nothing was wrong with me. So I went in, December, here comes January. Things progressively got worse. All of a sudden, I just lost my appetite. I wasn't eating, and everything, would come up. So, here it is, February. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So they still don't know. It's like, this pain you have, they tested me for diabetes. They gave me any kind of test that you could think of, any biopsy, triopsy, ABC, ESPN, anything that you could think of that they gave me. It was trying. So here it is, March, like 3 months in the hospital, things getting worse. I went in at 180 pounds. At this time, I was probably down to like 130 pounds with a feeding tube in my stomach. So my sister came in. She lives in Columbia, like an hour and a half away from Charlotte. And she comes up and I'm like, Pam, I'm tired. Here's my, banking information. This is where my 401k is, all that stuff. I'm tired. Stop talking like that. You're going to be okay. Duke Medical, they had me on Zooms with every neurologist. I'm like on the East Coast, bro. I mean, shout out to CMC, man. They put everything into it. They would feed me all kinds of pills. I lied. I told them I couldn't swallow, right? So they would put it in my feeding tube. Got tired of swallowing pills. So they would smash them up. But yeah. So that's March. So April comes around, and like clockwork, my dad would come visit me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and around lunch, and, sit there and eat my lunch because I couldn't eat it.
Right.
And this happened. My mom and dad divorced. She used to ride with my dad to come visit me. So they were leaving, and my mom was, fixing my bed, putting the covers over my feet. And I said, Mom, I'm tired. I can't take this anymore. And she held my hand and said, baby,
take your time, bro.
I need you more than ever. And when she held my hand, it's like that point, I was like, man, all right, come on. So here it is, June, and it was a Friday. evening. Doctor used to come in that morning, and he came in and said, Mr. Robinson, it's nothing else that we can do for you. We've done everything. I don't know what else we can do, but I will say you're one tough son of a bitch. We're going to send you off to rehab and see what happens. So I got out in June and I went to rehab for a month in Rock Hill, right outside of Charlotte, where my mom lives. And eventually, she came every single day. And every time that I had therapy, she was there. Because what would happen is I would try to stand up, and it's called orthostatic hypotension. My blood pressure would just drop, and I would pass out. I couldn't stand up or anything. So we did that, and blah, blah, blah. And a month came in, and the area director for the rehab was like, yeah, Mr. Robinson, it's been a month. Your insurance is like, hey, you're able to put on your clothes. So they figure that you're able to go out on your own. If you can go use the bathroom by yourself and make it over here, you can go home. I'm like, hell, I'm ready to get up out of here. So I go over to the bathroom and they hear, boom. I was like, I'm good. I kind of passed out. I didn't tell them that. And I came out and went home, and I wanted to go to another facility, almost like a nursing home. My mom was like, oh no, you're coming home with me. And stayed home with her. She had to feed me through a feeding tube, and I didn't want to move at all. And she was like, hey, get your butt up. Come on, sit up. Hey, get your walker, walk into the living room, it's living room. Then I made it to the kitchen. Then, made it a lap around, walking in the house and eventually go outside. And she nursed me to health. Wow. She really did. I mean, it was hell. It was hell, And they said it's small fiber neuropathy, orthostatic hypertension. Sounds like, different foreign language. Will it come back? They don't know. But I tell people, thank God I don't smell like the smoke of the fire that I've been through.
Amen.
And I had, and it still does my heart good when I see people and they say, Stu, we were praying for you. And I'm like, hey, don't stop. Prayer works. And to watch my friends, really get behind me. I had my college classmates coming to visit me in the hospital, all my family. I really had a support team behind me, even yourself. And, a lot of people that I really had to thank, because I wouldn't put that pain on anybody. I've never been sick, besides a common cold or flu, I've never been sick in my entire life or ever been in a hospital. And that was like literally out of nowhere. And I would say this, and the doctors really didn't agree with me, but honestly, I think it was the vaccines, the shots. I really do. Because nothing was wrong with me besides my cholesterol, bro. Like, nothing was wrong with me. And I've lost a couple of my guys, recently from, heart attacks and strokes and even COVID, with all in the last 4 years, and all of them got the shot. That's just me. No. But, I that's my testimony. So I just tell people, man, your blessing is right around the corner. Don't give up. If I can do it, anybody can do it, bro. 6 months. You talking about a half a year, bro, in the hospital, laying on my back. I'm not talking about going for 1 month, come home for 2 weeks, go back 6 months straight, then a month in rehab, bro. I had to learn, walk, talk, and eat again. And you worried about some girl, you worried about some dude or some job that's stopping you from living your life, man, stop that, man. I never want to be happy again. Never, ever, ever, ever in my life, I want to be happy. I want peace in my life, bro. Because happiness comes and goes. But once you have that peace in your life, nobody can take that away from you, bro. And I've never been one to go out on a limb to try something, but now nothing can stop me. And that's the way I feel. Whatever I want to do in life, I'm going to do it. Whether it works or not, right? I'm going to make it happen. Because you never go. I just lost 2 classmates within the last 3 or 4 weeks. And one of my homies just had a stroke Sunday. His wife just called me. So, we're living at that age, bro.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Because I had to reflect on life recently myself. Just to piggyback on your situation, I just lost my aunt a couple of weeks ago, and she was the last sibling on my dad's side. Mm-hmm. And I literally thought that was a generation that I just saw disappear.
Yeah.
and now we add in our classmates and our close friends, and it's crazy. And it's like when I was a kid, my big cousins were my big cousins, my uncles were there, and now I was like maybe in a teenager, early 20s, and now that I'm the big cousins, now we're seeing literally life happen. And like you said, your dad just passed away, so my condolences towards you, and it's just like you appreciate life. You definitely want peace.
Yeah.
Happiness is going to come and go.
Last 4 years of my life, dude. Just last year, lost my my niece to breast cancer, 32 years old. I was there when she, at my mom's house with her niece, my grandniece, was playing with her, and she's like, Grandma Hanna, my chest hurts right here. She thought it's from breastfeeding or whatever. And went diagnosed with breast cancer early. We beat it. We rang the bell. We came back, and the Christmas before it's passed, she wasn't doing too great, but I didn't think it was like that. The month later, she's gone. And I'm there by her side. I'm glad that I was there. The family was there. But I can't get that picture, out of my head. This was last year. Then the end of the year, my dad, Labor Day weekend, I said, let me go see my dad and get on his nerves. I've been out hanging with friends, what have you. I said, let me go over and get on my dad's nerves. So I get over there, he's there with his stepdaughter and his granddaughter. She's out skating and she's upstairs, whatever. Anyway, so I open his door. I was like, Pop! I discarded. What happened to Dad at? So go check the whole bathroom. Pop! Not there. I walk back in his room. I hear him faintly say, Stu, call my name. He's laid beside the bed. Starts shaking, mild stroke, in and out of the hospital. Then in December, goes back in the hospital. We get ready to get him in rehab, and he has a massive heart attack. He was pronounced dead for like 8 minutes or so. So we had to make that decision to, take him off life support. And I was there beside him when he passed. So, last year was rough. The last 4 years, from tearing my Achilles to everything that I've been through. And I tell people, use me. Anytime you feel like you're going through hard times, you want to give up on something, or you're hesitant about something, man, think about me, bro. Think about me. Use me. I'm here. If you want to talk about it, I'm not an over-religious person. I do go to church. I've always been in church. And, it's there, man. Prayer definitely changes things.
Yes. It does.
Live your life and enjoy it. Because one of my guys, when he came in the hospital, actually when I was in rehab, he said, my man, when you get out, you got to remember this. You got more days behind you than you do ahead.
Yep.
So live it.
Yep. So true. So true.
And I'm getting married soon because I'm getting old and somebody got to wipe my ass.
Nobody gonna marry your old ass, bruh. Stop that BS. Hey, yo, Stu and Gigolo, y'all. Watch out. You gonna move back to Tampa, dog? Or you gonna just travel back and forth?
My mom's health is, is pretty good, but I want to be, closer, even though it's an hour, 15-minute flight, but just being, close to mom and close to family. I can always come visit here, visit you guys. And yeah, it's nothing like home, just being around the family. Cause it's like, I'm the family spokesman, I'm any family gathering, I'm doing the prayer. I'm like, oh, okay. I done graduated to this, blessing the food. So yeah, it's nothing like family, man. My daughter's 27. I have a grandson. He's, 6. And not even a regret radio because my daughter was here with me, most of the summer. I wasn't there the whole time. Your daughter being away. Yeah. So that situation, being close to my grandson and watching him play his first football game, he sucks, boy.
Hold up, did you tell him that?
Nah, I told his mama that. I was like, man, he is horrible.
But do you try to coach him a little bit like, son, listen, I need you to do this and do that?
I pulled his dad to the side. His dad's like, yeah, you right. We got a long way to go. God almighty. But yeah, just to be close to him, man, it's all cool.
So what are you doing now, bro? Just let's get people caught up with what Stu Robinson is doing
Just
now.
Enjoying life, doing my own voiceover work. I said, man, just trying to stay healthy. I have to catch myself on I don't want to say I had bad days. I had bad moments. As this moment I speak to you, like my hands are like on fire, like really, really burning. But I'm like, that's nothing compared to what I've been through. So yeah, that's nothing. Last night bowling, with you guys, I didn't think I was going to be able to bowl, 3 games. I'm using a 10-pound ball.
Yeah, you are.
Kids. And still beat you. So, just that moment, I'm sitting there, I'm joking. But, just to watch the fellowship, and I kind of try not to do it, but I think like, damn, 3 years ago this time, I'm laying up in the hospital with tubes, everywhere over my body. But look at me now. How many people that you can say that's been in a hospital for 6 months look like this? And I'm not, bragging, but I'm like a walking, a walking testimony.
Yeah, it's a blessing at the end of the day.
I said, God, let me get my weight back. Let me get my weight back. When I got out of rehab, I'm 130 pounds. I'm at the 180. I got my man gut back, so I can't wear my extra small, medium shirts that look like they snap between the middle.
Yeah, because we still going to be talking about you if you wore some medium shirts. Nah. Hey, were you one of those people once you got out of the hospital, you went back to church?
I was always in church.
I was about to say. Yeah. Because, people go through what you went through and be like, I got to get back to church and start reading the Bible again. Oh, Lord Jesus. Like, come on now.
When 2 and 3 come together, church is not about the building, man. It's about, but I do like to go just to get, that word and just to be in the house with like-minded individuals. My pastor, he's super cool, man. He will walk in, dressed just like a, kicking. It's not like every word out his mouth is a Bible passage or whatever. But nah, I've always been to that. And that's what helped me, my faith and belief. Because like I said, man, I gave my sister my information. It was like, yo, da-da-da-da. So now I was like, man, I was about to leave y'all with a little bit of money. I'm about to spend all this. Oh, no. Because they say you can't take it with it. It was there, man. I mean, I really thought I wasn't going to make it out, man. It was rough, but I'm here, man. I can't be stopped. I'm a force to be reckoned with.
No, you are, bro. Yeah. You one tough ass cookie.
Try to be.
You are. Well, Stu, thank you for stopping by on the BucWitMe
show.
This has been awesome. I keep it real. We can keep talking, but we
can't.
Because I still got one question. But hey, maybe the next time, and then maybe the next time we get a group of guys together, we can talk about some other things.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I'm going to beat you in bowling the next time because I'm gonna start practicing next week.
You're awful, bro.
Never said I was good. Never said I was good.
A grown man throwing gutter balls. You got that big lane. You can't keep the ball between that. That is horrible.
Stu.
And somehow, literally, in the beginning of the game, the second game, they're going to put the bumpers up for you.
No,
it's on tape.
That's all lies. Don't be like no.
Is it not on tape? The bumpers went up.
The machine actually came up by accident when they were trying to figure stuff out. Still, don't do that right now. Don't do that.
On the next episode.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Me whooping his ass.
All right.
Talk about my Cowboys again. Let's we out.
Thanks for coming out. God bless. As always, keep your faith in God, but still lock your doors. If you're going to be a monkey, be a gorilla. I'll holler at y'all. Chill. Peace.